Hello and welcome to our today's episode of The Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl Otieno. Just like we always do, we take it a tile at a time. Remember, every Sunday 7:30 p.m. we are here. If you want our repeat shows, catch us up on Tuesday 5 to 5:30. Now our today's tile is about art. As you can see, we have a very beautiful piece over here, and I invited one talented young man to share with us all about what he does. We celebrate talent, we celebrate greatness, and we believe this is something you need to see. So if you've ever wondered how, why, when, by who, we have J Mwangi Arts here for you. J, karibu.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Cheryl, for having me once again. My name is J Mwangi Art, an artist who is born again, of course, and I thank God for that. I'm a pencil artist, not only limited to pencil, painting, charcoal, colored pencil, and digital art. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, now you've started speaking Greek, but I'm sure we'll understand your language as we
Yes,
proceed.
understand.
So you've said you're a pencil artist. I mean, it's not something you're limited to, but it's something you do a lot.
Exactly.
Yes. So give us the other types of art. Maybe you explain about the pencil art, then you give us the charcoal art, the digital art, all those kinds of arts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I start with pencil art, which I basically and love it most. It's the most interesting. This example of a pencil art artwork. Pencil art is all about pencils, which in particular I have 13 different pencils to start with. If I can mention them, we have F, we have B, 2B, 3B, 4B, all the way up to 8B. Then we have H. H are the light pencils. We have 2H, 3H, all the way up to 6H. Those are the different types of pencils. Then there are erasers. We have different types of erasers. Today my audience is gonna run art. We have erasers, soft erasers, kneadable erasers, sticky erasers. If I can explain a little, for example, in these clear parts that are being seen, I used something we call kneadable eraser. Kneadable eraser, it erases but not fully. It remains with some little graphite being visible. Soft eraser is the one for erasing almost everything. Like if you can see, this is a white shirt. It was initially shaded it using pencil. Since I wanted it to be white, I used a soft eraser. Then there is another one that's called sticky eraser. It's for erasing details. You can look at the lips. There are segments of little white. That's the work of sticky eraser. So that's all about erasers. Then there's something else, another medium I use that is called charcoal. We have charcoal blocks, we have charcoal pencil. They all work the same with a pencil, but there's something called smudging in art. For charcoal, you can smudge even using a finger or a tissue paper. For pencil, I smudge using a smudging board or a cotton wool or earbuds. That's all about charcoal. Then we have painting. That's also another medium. We use oil for painting. We use acrylics for painting. We use watercolors. They all depend with what kind of mediums you're using or the kind of board you're painting on. If you're painting on a paper, you can use watercolors. If you're painting on canvas, you can use oil and acrylics. The other medium is digital art. Digital art is all about using tablet, a drawing tablet. That's what we call digital art. You draw using a tablet, and there's a special pen for drawing on a tablet. Then it appears on a screen. That's called digital art. Mostly for graphic designers, you can understand. It's all about you do it on computer and then you can print it on a paper.
So can it appear the same way?
It can still appear the same way because you have the colors on your screen. You just select the color you want to paint. It appears exactly the same way. It's more realistic and also very smart. That's all about digital art. Yes.
Thank you very much, Jay. Now, when did you? Let's go back to when and how. There are questions we've asked before. I mean, in the spirit of the Valentine's Day that was just last week, we need to, go through this one. Yes. So how did you realize you had a passion
Oh,
for art?
thank you. It started way back when I was 4 years old, as young as four. Even before I got to nursery school, I realized I was an artist. I started drawing art in books, having a background of growing up in a background where art was not noticed. So I used to draw at the back of the exercise books. But it was a bit conflicting because my parents did not so friendly with it,
Yeah.
because that's a access book that was particularly for schoolwork.
Yeah.
So we didn't have the resources to get a drawing book,
Yeah.
to an extent that I was warned about doing art. My parents want me never to do art again. Why? Because I'm doing it on an exercise book.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would do it and tear the page and put it in my files.
Yeah.
I didn't stop at that. That's how it started until they realized I think I was unstoppable. That's when teachers realized that this guy is so much talented, because they would give me work, maybe school work, to do on Manila, for the other classes, and I would bring it home, and my parents would realize, oh, since the school realized I was an artist at a very young age, I decided to carry it along. In high school, still teachers still realized. I can give you a scenario in Form 2, where I had my agriculture teacher who was bald-headed, and I decided to draw him when we were still in class because I didn't love agriculture so much. So I drew him. I decided to give it the photo to the neighbor who was sitting next to me, and he could not stop laughing, and it got to an extent of him realizing that there's something that's happening. A paper is going around. The moment he got the paper, oh, it was him. So he told me, Mwangi, follow me to the staff room. So I followed, not knowing exactly what will happen. I was so nervous, like, what will really happen to me? I'm just in Form 2. And when I went to the staff room, he called all the teachers, come, just to see the art. And they were so amazed with such a talent. Instead of punishing me, at least they gave me some small token. That's how at least my art, even up to date, if you go to his office, that piece of art, it is in his office. He loved it so much. He loved it so much. So I carried it along. After Form 4, I decided to enroll in a school called Sketchmaster. And it's a sad moment for us because the director of that Sketchmaster is no more. We lost him last weekend, but may his soul rest in peace. Yes, so he mentored us a lot. You know, here we are. We also mentoring others and also becoming great.
So this is something you've done. You've of course gone to school to do, and I want us to really find out how you can also turn your talent into a career, and how much work have you put in. You know, most of the time we see artists, we see musicians, we see, they say it's just a good voice. You see footballer and you say, it's talent. How much work have you had to put in this until now? Back then you're telling me this has taken you around 48 hours to just come up with. Yeah, tell us how much work or how much effort you've put into bring not just this, but to be the J Mwangi arts that people can call and give 10,000 just to get a portrait.
Okay, art is not easy. Yes, it's talent. I do it out of passion, but it really takes a lot of effort to produce something like this. It takes much of your time, much of your energy from the thoughts, because you really need to produce something. Making something that really looks like someone else, it's really work. It needs a lot of effort. So I just don't only do it as a hobby or passion. It's a career. To me, it's a career. I do it for money. I do it for money. It requires a lot of commitment. You have to commit yourself fully. The art materials we use, they are not that cheap. They are not, because most of them are imported, like the pencils, those brushes, most of them are imported. So it requires a lot of money also. a lot of money. Being able to produce something like this and presenting to a client, it requires, number one, a lot of commitment, a lot of your time, 48 hours, and that is time lapse that maybe you can say it's full time. It requires a lot of commitment. Secondly, as I'm saying, it requires a lot of money. Getting a frame like this one, pencils, a pencil, art pencil one goes at 100 shillings. That's not something you just wake up and go to buy in a bookshop. That's where they sell art materials. So doing it,
and you need, like, let's just say you need around 13
I need 13
different
pencils,
types,
13
and then
different types,
some types
all
of erasers
different.
you've mentioned we also
Exactly.
cannot even get, and then we have brushes.
We have brushes, we have the acrylics. One tube of acrylics goes at 500 shillings. So it requires a lot of money. Even if we charge, if it's $100 upwards, it is really worthy because it requires much of your time, much of your effort. It really requires a lot of commitment, which grows over time because you don't just wake up and find yourself doing art commercially. It requires a lot of time. There's time you start as an amateur, goes time and time, practice. You try once, doesn't really look like the person you wanted to, but you don't just give up at that. You really continue doing it. Someone asked me one time, which is your best artwork? I told them it's the one that I'm going to do next. Always the one that I'm going to do next. This is not the best. This is the one I did last for now, but the one that I'm going to do next will be the best. Why? Because as you do it, you're learning. I'm learning more. I'm learning some skills that I was not taught, because that's all about growing in art or being innovative. A lot of creative industry, it requires a lot of research. You do a lot of research. You discover more mediums. You discover more ways of doing it. Like I was telling you, you do grading. There's a time you realize there are some other things that people use, like screen. There are people who do on screen other than doing grid. That's all about art. So getting to a commercial artist, it has really taken.
Yeah, I really want to know at what point, maybe after you, do you remember your first client you sold? I mean, not like someone who was pity paying. You know, there are people who are like, let me just pay. But the first person who you felt, this guy, I worked for him. Do you remember your first client?
Well, I was still in school.
Yeah.
It really happened in a time that things were not so good, and guy just contacted me, got my number through Facebook. That's where he saw my work. He gave me 2 of them, and I charged him 7,500. There were 2 pieces. Oh, and that was so encouraging.
Wow.
It was so encouraging.
Yeah,
I did it out of all my heart and passion. Because I realized, so this thing can really pay. Because 2 portraits at that amount, well, it didn't deserve that, but at least the guy saw the effort, and he really appreciated everything because I did it so well.
And for a start, I think that was a good takeoff energy,
exactly.
good takeoff amount.
Exactly.
And you're like, now from today we are charging.
Exactly. That although before that I did some for my spiritual father, a few pastors, just to gift them so that people can see exactly what I do. And if they are critics, let them come critics because of someone that I'm gifting, not the client.
Now, when you were gifting, when you were making a portrait to gift someone,
yes,
I mean, what goes through your mind? I mean, being that it takes, I understand this is a big piece, and there are pieces that take, I mean, a much shorter time, maybe around 24 hours.
Okay.
So, and that is still a lot of time to sit down and make an art and just be like, I'm gifting this person.
Yes. 2 things. Number one, it's selling your work. Sometimes you don't have a client, you just new in art, people don't know what you do. So at least you'll have to do something of the sort, no matter the cost it takes, because everything has a cost. So you just incur the cost, do it, and give it publicly so that people can see. And you just allow people to comment, because if it's bad, that's why you're going to know. Secondly, the one I've gifted for men or women of God, it's blessing. It's a blessing. At least it will go unrewarded. Yes, at least when he's that in that office, he'll just say a short prayer. Oh God, this artist who did this one, may the Lord bless you.
And that is how, yeah, yeah. And how do you get your flow of clients?
My flow of clients, most of them are through referrals, somehow social media, and maybe a show like this one helps in one way or the other get a client.
Yeah.
Yes, so if I do something for you and someone comes to your place and sees it's beautiful,
Yeah.
they'll ask you who did this one for you. That's how I've gotten most of my clients. Yes.
Yeah. And so when you're how frequent do you do art? I know it's is it your full-time job or something part-time? And how frequent do you do it? Let's say in a month, how many clients do you have? And then you tell us maybe about the income flow, maybe not exactly, but approximately. Yeah.
Okay. Art is my job. Art is my job. Although I do other things, let me start with art. Uh, I get my clients, let's say, it's so seasonal, by the way. Like during when school are opening, most people are not interested in art. Like just that we came from Valentine, I had so many clients because there's someone who want to gift their loved ones during holidays, like a December holiday. I get a flow of clients. Other times I don't have clients in such a good flow. At least you find yourself you're doing maybe two in a month, which is good because if you find two and it's well paying, it can sustain you. However, I still do other things like I do branding, I do shop branding, uh, things to do with advertisements. If you want to brand your shop, I'll just do it, design it, and just then print it. All kind of branding. That's also something that I do because it's still part-time job. You will not find that every time someone want to be drawn. Sometimes
Yeah.
I teach also. I have a few students. So in my free time, not in my free time, there's a time that I have allocated that I'll be attending to my students. I teach art 3 hours each, which is so good. So that's how it flows. Money wise, I can say I told you this one like such a portrait. A3 goes for $100. This one goes at $150, bigger one. So that's how it flows.
But this one is enough to sustain you in a month. May I just tell our viewers you're single? So this one, two of these.
Two of these
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you get a flow, you realize it. You just carry it forward, and then it's something that can also sustain you and also support the other business that you're doing. Yes.
But the best thing I love about such, so this you see that I drew this one. This is a married man. Maybe when I deliver this one, the wife will also need one. So like I have clients who they don't want one portrait, all of them. I start with one, I draw maybe the husband, the wife is also interested. I draw the wife and the children. That's also an advantage because doing like 4 portraits in one family.
That is 100 G's resting.
Of course. Thank you.
So I wanted to ask about being that we're talking about talents. I wanted to ask about talents in our generation. Someone said every time God gives you a talent, every time God gives you a gift, let me use the specific words, it's because he has seen the need of the next generation. And we have seen graffiti masters, we have seen artists do things that do not glorify God. How do you think this one answers the question or the demand for the next generation?
Oh yes, you talked about talent. To start with, most people haven't realized their talent yet, which I think is very instrumental because you need to realize all of us, we all have something that we can do and do it so nice. So number one thing, realizing a talent is very, very instrumental.
Yeah.
Because at least you're going to follow that line, and it becomes so easy because you not be pushed. Nobody can push me to draw.
Yeah. 48 hours.
It
No,
just
that.
flows.
Yeah.
It just flows.
Yeah.
If you tell me to come here and host a show, I won't be able. I won't be able. I don't
Yeah.
talk much.
Yeah.
And so
So you're saying all talk shows we just talk much? I mean, it's true, but don't say it. But it's
okay,
true.
okay. It's not easy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yours
yeah.
is not easy.
Yeah,
I can't.
yeah.
I don't know whether if I'm told to host someone, I think I'm the one who will go do the more talking instead of
Yeah,
listening.
yeah, yeah.
So nobody pushes me to draw, no matter what it takes. I still draw. So number one, realizing a talent, and to come to your question, the issue of a young generation. This thing that has come up in our school curriculum, they call the CBC. CBC, those people who realize, who've realized the real meaning of CBC, it's towards growing talents or whatever work that you can do and do it so well. In Kenya, we're not so good in nurturing this one. We're not so good.
Yeah,
We
I
really
mean, our
don't.
parents want us to be doctors
Exactly.
and teachers.
Exactly. It's not so much appreciated. It's not. Not the government, not the parents. It's not so much appreciated. So
And not even the sphere of influence.
exactly.
Don't forget that.
Even the clients, I can just go to someone and tell someone I draw, and they saying, I mean, what's the essence of this one when I can go to a studio, take a good photo, and hang it in my house, and it's cheaper. So not many people understand. In whatever case, even the every area of your life, maybe if it's a talent, not all people will appreciate, but if you yourself, you understand, you have potential to do this and you can do it so well, that's all it takes. You realize you can do it. We all have different talents, different gifting that we need to exploit. And of course, God gives you according to your ability. You remember the story of that guy in the Bible who was given someone given one, other two, the other one was given 5 talents. The person who was given one talent, they decided to hide it in the ground. When the master came, he just took the talent and gave it to the one who had 5 because they had multiplied. The same case with talent. Maybe God would gift you something and you never fail to exploit it. And maybe that's your area. That's the area maybe God has said, if I want to bless you, I'll use this one. So the best thing, maybe advice I can give to this generation that we are in, just do it. Do it. Someone will watch you. Someone will see what you do. Someone will appreciate it. And at the end of it all, if it's something that you love, you are enjoying doing it. You will enjoy doing it. Yes, that's all I can say.
Yeah, yeah. And on top of that, realizing talent and investing in talent and growing that talent there. I mean, you started by drawing at the back of your book, and then one day you are drawing your agriculture teacher, and then before you know it, you had enrolled in school. And then you are selling your first art, and right now you are here. How have you ensured you are putting to use that which God has given you and not just sleeping on it? You're like, I mean, because we've just talked about the fact that a lot of people do not appreciate art. Exactly. Art, I mean, as it is, not even art. I mean, if your friends realize you sell shoes, all of a sudden they wear slippers. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what happens with that, but how have you ensured, regardless of the challenges, maybe even as we come to an end, how have you ensured that this particular talent has grown to this level?
It's just a matter of, as I told you, we've just been committed to it. Number one, if you really love what you do, even if nobody appreciates it, you still do it. You are a writer in your magazine. Whether they bought the magazine or not, you still write them.
Yeah, I'm writing the third
You still writing. You are in the third one right now. Whatever makes you, whatever takes you through without getting or growing weary about it, it's just if you love. Do you really love what you do? Sometimes when it's not giving you money, will you still do it? Because most of the times we do it for money. Yes, it's for money, but other than money, what will happen if it's not paying you? Will you still do it? Then if you can still do it when it's not giving you money, that's the time when it will really pay you. Because number one, you adding the perfectionist to it. The way I did the first one is not the way that I'm doing this one. It's not the way that I do the next one. Every day I'm growing. I'm growing every day. And secondly, is people. I have people around, friends, family who really appreciate what I do, who really appreciate. If you have someone who is cheering you up, oh, you'll do it so well. You did so well. So I have friends who cheer me up, who tries to market me. I have very supportive family. Every time that I tell them this is what I need to do, at least if when they realize that I'm unstoppable in art, they started supporting me. So if I tell them initially before I started getting something that I call my own, if I need something like pencil, I would really just contact them and tell them I need this and that, and they would gladly do it because they knew it's inside me. He can't stop me. So that's all has kept me going. Because they have people appreciating, have people who are cheering you up, such. And of course, also the money that you're getting, it's also a motivation.
Yeah, of course, money will always be a motivation. And again, you know, it's not about the money. It's because people pay for purpose.
Exactly.
People will always, purpose will always come with its own sahani yake ama ni mchele ya ndani ya sahani. But either way, that is J Mwangi Arts. Kindly J, give us your social media handles, how we can contact you to also have, I have one of these, but I could use another one.
Yes, you need
Yeah. I will structure, especially when I get an office, I could use one.
Yes, you need
Yeah.
So J Mwangi on Facebook. I recently opened a YouTube channel, J Atman. You can go there, like, watch, and also subscribe. You can also leave a comment. I can also share maybe my contacts, 0714 531 670. That's my number. You can reach out for business. You can reach out if you need to learn art. You can also reach out if you need mentorship. You can also reach out if you really want to have a vision of opening a very big art school. You can partner with me and we do it. And yeah.
I'm waiting for that art school.
It's coming up.
And I'm waiting for the gallery you'll open.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
A gallery and a studio to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We will also be doing live sketching. You come sit there.
Yeah.
We sketch you and you carry it home.
Perfect. Every time God gives us a talent, He has the next generation in mind. It's not just about you, it's not just about me, it's not just about our generation. There is another generation that we need to hand over the baton to. So whatever your hand finds to do it as if unto the Lord. Because with that, not only will your family feed, not only will you feed, but will also be appreciating what God has given you. That is all we had for you for today. Until next time, my name is Cheryl Otieno.